Okay, good time to start. Why not? Good as time. Good a time as any. So, welcome to another stream of Lyrebird Edits. Over the past couple of days, what have I been doing? You may be able to hear like a slightly more masculine, pitch to my voice, and that's just on account of me having like plain pneumonia. It's not really pneumonia, it's just that sort of cold influenza chest infection that you get from international travel. I don't know where I picked it up from, but I've gone through half a bottle of Manuka honey just to soothe my throat and give me my very deep kind of husk. Buh. So swole. Thank you, Herringbone. Thank you. This is it's all natural. I'm like a stick insect, really. Like I'm such a thin person, but wide in the shoulders. So I don't know. I'm not wearing very much tonight. This is the first stream I've done more or less in my underwear. But you know what? I'm an adult. I can do it. No one can criticize me. No one. I'm eating strawberries straight from a bowl with Manuka honey tea. Life is good having adult free will. I never wondered, but it's gonna sound a bit weird, but I wonder what you guys are wearing. I always wear a shirt and pants for stream, but it's never occurred to me what other people are wearing. Like, some people might be in bed, other people are probably like in the middle of their day, so it's a whole different host of things. Yeah, also Herringbone, congratulations on your shadow casting position. Very good, well done. Fantastic. That's good news. Mrs. Herringbone. Is there a Mrs. Herringbone? Or Ms. Herringbone? I'm trying to think of this situation. So like you're in bed watching watching me on like a tablet or something. Miss Herringbone's over there just like, oh, is it that liar person again? What are you doing with that liar person? And you're just like, shush, shush. I'm enjoying myself here with my Twitch. Um, I'm just trying to picture this. Oh, different adults. Yeah, good. That works out nicely. Make her a Twitch account, and then she can stream me in the background too, and my view number can double from 1 to 2. Yes, also thank you for the clarification there. Taking this chat from a solid M down to a nice PG. Parental guidance. It's recommended, but not necessary. Let's get started. Enough of my waffle. I usually waffle for another like couple of minutes. I usually I I didn't turn the light off. I can't stand up because I'm wearing sleep shorts. Okay, one sec. I said to myself, turn off the ceiling light before you start the stream. It's important, turn off the ceiling light. But you know what I didn't do? I didn't turn off the ceiling light. There we go, now it looks... Is that better or worse? I don't know, it's more yellow. It's kid friendly here. I'd say so. How can Google help me? Yeah, aside from the occasional swear I don't think much of what we've done on Lyrebird edits has ever been to um adult, maybe. Some of my stories got a bit intense in parts. Other stories got a bit violent. Yeah, I don't think it'd be too bad. Alrighty, I think we got up to... This seems to be my last edit here. That's right, I think we were about to get into the middle of a bit of a dialogue tree. Well, we've got Herringbone here, we've got me here, and the camera is fine. Let's start. Steam Carpet was a bit R-rated. For some, if not all of my viewers. It's been vacuumed recently, but it hasn't been steamed recently. Hey Mookie MC, welcome to the stream. Welcome back. Good timing, because I think we're about to start right now. Let me know if this is too small, this portion of the screen here, and I can expand it in size. Let's go back here and we'll read. That's right. The end of this scene was from Maxim was being introduced to the elephant. I want to go back and read this actually. There was a time in my life where I believed everything occurred by some sort of unknowable, divine, and possibly benevolent guidance. Some sort of unknowable, divine, and possibly benevolent guidance. The alternate, I think we discussed this last time, as the Oxford comma. I'll make a comment about it this time, because we're at the start of a stream, we've got a bit more time. There's a debate in English language about whether or not it should be unknowable, comma, divine, and, comma, possibly. Yeah, this is a bit of a throwaway point, but, what this boils down to is where the commas are placed here. Usually in a three-list phrase, you have, I'm gonna go to the store and pick up salt, milk, and butter. And make a salty cake. I don't know what I'm doing with those three things, but those three things are separated by two commas. Salt, comma, milk, and butter. Only one comma, sorry. But there's this thing called the Oxford comma, and it kind of comes into play here. A noble, comma, divine, comma, and possibly benevolent guidance. So this is technically correct, and this is also technically correct. A noble, comma, divine, and possibly, oh, so a noble, divine, and, comma, possibly, comma, benevolent guidance. Yeah, just a little throwaway fact for you there. Living on the poverty line typically beats that out of you. However, in my formative years, I was Maxim the believer, or more appropriately, Maxim the double-dipping agnostic. I was an obligatory Catholic under Mother's insistence, but it was Father's letters of religion in the heart of Africa that roused my imagination. The cosmologies vary by region, but Father continuously came by beliefs in spiritual continuity, where departed souls manifest again in new life. Spiritual recycling, if you will. Grandfather's soul could inhabit anybody now, he once said, so don't throw rocks at Mr. Quincy. It only really struck me now, as Arabelle guides me by the animal pens, that he too grew up without a father. He never seemed a superstitious man, but he was searching for his wayward spirit, but was he searching for his wayward spirit in someone else? Whoop. Whoop. Gotta get that camera position right. Here we go. Ah, you two are on the Oxford comma team. I prefer my way, which isn't my way. It's just this is the Oxford comma way, isn't it? This one here. I like the other one. I don't know why. Maybe I just grew up with it. Hard to say. Might be one of those things where if you're exposed to it at a young age, it sticks with you and you grow into it, and then you form like a crusted, unshakable opinion about it. So I think this is good. This spins a little backwards into one of the previous stories that we haven't read yet, but it's nice. It feels like it's smooth and it's fluid. Where I remember falling a bit, feeling a little out of touch with this section here was immediately after where I stopped reading. This one here. Let's read through and I'll see if I can make any more points that don't tread too much over what happened last time. His name's Satchmo, Arabelle says, stroking the iron bars between us and the leathery grey beast. The elephant stands silent on a bed of sodden straw and scattered pats of stench. His trunk forms a sad J, but ends in wiry hairs. Ivory stumps stand in for tusks. A listless stare studies the side of the lorry wall. Here Satchmo honk only at the walls. A caricature painting of Satchmo cradles a trumpet with his trunk. A toothy smile, a big top backdrop. But what strikes me most is his torn ear, which isn't featured on the painting. The torn ear of Father's eulogic postcard. I've seen this elephant before. The two things I commented last time, the elephant kind of rolls into the scene, because we don't start off with the elephant here, he just sort of poof, pops in. And yeah, so I made the comment last time that we don't really start off with a solid. I'm gonna move the microphone a bit closer, and just hold it maybe. We don't start off with a solid. Here is an elephant in a cage, kind of descriptive, but rather a lean in. But what it does do, however, is very quickly establish the imagery. And so, excuse me. And so in doing so, I feel as though it actually recovers the lost ground. And I'm more comfortable with it now this time. I contribute my love of the Oxford comma to my parents, Elizabeth and God. Oh, is that the is that the Oxford comma? This looks right. Yeah, this thing here. So whatever team this is, I'm part of this team. Oh, I'm hiccuping really badly tonight. Coughing, hiccuping, spluttering, editing. The one thing from this little section here that I'll note. It's a little too oblique and quick to solidify the emotional weight that it deserves. I think the best way to overcome that is just to add a little linker between, which isn't featured on the painting. Get Maxim to sort of stare at the wound, or maybe have have a think about what it looks like. My voice. Maybe get him to have a think about what it reminds him of visually, or just get him to take a moment or two to solidify the image. But what strikes me most is his torn ear. It isn't pictured on the painting. It's some sort of gnarled, chunk-like subtraction from his anatomy. Something that makes him look rather sad. Full stop. And as I stare deeper into the sad eyes of Satchmo, the wound everything comes back to me, full like ellipsis. The torn ear of father's eulogic postcard. So you sort of need about 2 sentences. I feel. So I'll make that as a comment. Thank you. Spiritual way Maxim links this meaning with the element of his beliefs consideration. Yeah. The best thing about this is that you've got the groundwork there already, so all you'd have to do is just extend it out a little more. And excuse me, I find myself often suggesting that within your writing too. You've got these very smooth paragraphs that link the ideas together really well, and I want more of it, which is a really good thing to say to a writer, where you've got the backbone there, and it's like, oh, you know, just a little bit more there, slow the pace down, and I would have loved that even more. It's a great problem to have, because it's such a joy to fix, is that you just dive back into the scene and think, okay, well, what can I add to sort of massage it into shape? So I wasn't coughing like this crazily before I started stream. So my apologies. I hope I can keep going. If the coughing and the hiccuping become too much, I'll let you know, and I'll cut the stream off early. Because otherwise it'll just be me coughing. Lyrebird coughs. Lyrebird eats strawberries. Lyrebird coughs up a lung with his pneumonia. I don't think I'm desperate enough to do like strawberry eating AMSR. Unless you guys want to hear that. No, I'm not gonna do that. That would be gross. I really hate the sound of people like people chewing with that sort of sloppy kind of lip licking sort of kind of thing. I can't stand it. It's kind of up there with Minions is how much I hate that. Anyway. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. I 100% Mookie MC. It's something that you get very very good at the more and more you write. You become very good at linking together ideas very fluidly, and I think it shows with something like this, for instance, where the vast majority of the narrative is linked together so well, and it's very beautifully laid out. So that in and of itself is just a residue of practice. Nobody gets this good overnight. I think Herring's had quite a bit of experience in terms of working with linear ideas and putting them into a narrative. So then what comes on top of that is it's sort of like a tap. Once you get the flow going, the flow comes, but you have to sort of monitor that it's even, that it's going in the right direction, that it's coming out of the right temperature, to use like a tap metaphor. So once the basic structure is there, that's really good, and then an editor can come in and be, yeah, more flowy. To research Arabelle, I watched an Amos's Classical and does tarot. There you go. Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, ASMR. That's right. Yeah, it weirds me out too a bit. An NFL ad. Hey, hey, Outrider SG. How you doing? I have Mookie MC. Yep. It's in my teacup. I've gone through half a bottle of Manuka honey. It's really good. It's great for sore throats, but it's not great for chesty coughs. Yeah, I'm yeah. I don't despise AMSR. I just find it weird. Hmm. You need to make sure that your narrative is consistent. Ugh. Weird. It creeps me out doing it. Even listening to myself in the ear. I still have the postcard. Its rain-blurred surface had faded on mother's windowsill, but its image is branded onto my brain. On my brain, branded on my brain is probably good too. A grey pup framed by a hulking herd, dipping into the waters of the Congo. It's that same frayed tear. So I'm just gonna highlight this. As I've seen this before, I still have the postcard. I think adding a really short kicker there would help the scene come to a conclusion. Hmm. It's a decent question. Phone manufacturers are so caught up in making sure that phone speakers are good. Hmm. Yeah, I tend to agree. Laptop speakers are always a bit of a disappointment. Although these ideas are linked and can be a single paragraph, I like that it's a second paragraph. Quite a short one, which is fine. Given the flow of everything. It's that same frayed tear, the same elephant. Yeah, so just, again, just a little bit more to make it roll forward. Arabella offers a hand out to Satchmo, who sniffs at her bangles. He doesn't he doesn't actually play the trumpet. The real one is microphoned up to someone behind the scenes. Where did he come from? So oh, excuse me, I'm not on suggestion mode. My mistake. Um One thing I suggest here is adding something like this. If Maxim is confident that he has seen the elephant before, maybe put this in. And that might help the reader understand that Maxim is having some sort of pseudo-spiritual connection in this. I don't know why this represents pseudo-spiritual, but as opposed to spiritual. Um, I think that could be a really nice connection there. Hmm, a little too much, yeah. I think there's merit in the phenomena, but maybe in the execution it's a bit weird, isn't it? Hmm. Thank you, Ryder. Arabelle, focused on sad Satchmo, ignores my question. She hushes him and strokes his trunk. I should have brought you a little treat, old Satchmo. Where's he from? Oh, who knows? Been here for years, she beckons. I'd consider adding a dialogue tag here. Or a piece of narrative, or an explanation as to why Maxim presses on with the question. Hmm. Yep. Ah, Rider SG, you and I are on the same wavelength. Joke's on everyone else. It's just me and an alternate account. Being like, it's like, ah, this Outrider guy, yeah, yeah, he's got some good ideas. It's just me. But I think you're totally right. Directionalities are a good way to put it, actually. Yeah. A baby elephant in a journalist's shutter. Its older image in a circus cage. Decades and distance separate these moments. Belief is knowledge that a road spans between instances. A faith that this meeting is connected to that image on a Mobius strip. A grey pup framed by a hulking herd. Whether it be the dream of the universal consciousness, the will of the ancestral spirits, spun into the looms of fate by the man on the mountain top, or plan of his divinity. You could put or a plan, or plan of his divinity works just as well in this case. There's a certainty that this moment is no coincidence. Satchmo's trunk sniffles along my forearm. There, says Arable. Just a little comment here as well. Like, maybe take a moment. Actually, definitely take a moment. Like, Maxim can hold out his hand, acting as the bridge between moments here and there. Maybe introduce like a very short phrase or a sequence where Maxim reaches in and waits for Satchmo to sort of acknowledge him, lumber over, interact with his hand, give him a sniff, that sort of thing. That physicality would blend really neatly as a counterpoint to the spirituality that you had in this paragraph here. Spiritual followed immediately by a bit more of the physical would be really nice to see. That's my guess, Outrider, yeah. Oh, the spelling was wrong? Grey pub. Grey. Whoops. Where did Grey go? Grey. I think it's fine, isn't it? There was a spelling mistake that I can't see. Oh. Oh. Hey, very nice. Yeah. Good. Oh. Thank you, Herringbone. Editing your own work. Sorry, got just distracted there by the Oxford comma comic. Very nice. It it completely passed me by. Part of the problem with repetition from an editor's point of view is that your brain clicks in and you're like, oh, I've seen this before, and you rush through it without bothering to check whether or not it's spelled properly. So, from an editor, I'm very sorry I missed that. Yeah, it just completely skipped me by. The question burns. What's fate to you? I asked the mystic. It's grammatically unusual. I think that's fine though. Andrew scoffs, here we bloody go. Uncertain silence. Business hours only, bloody. Fate's whatever you fool yourself with. But you're a fortune teller? He taps his pocket with a coiny jingle. Methods for answers, Tawny. It's a job. Actually, I think it was Herringbone who caught it. Rookie MC. Oh. Between the afternoon and evening show, I see the lifeblood of the circus folk run red. Wine and dope, smoke and coke, in an attempt to drown out the 5 tracks of circus fanfare that cycle every 15 minutes. Someone has Iggy Pop crackling out from a tinny speaker. As the sunlight fades, the grounds become an odd mix of fairy lights and rotating colours, which contrast with the singularity of worn emotion etched upon the performance faces. Put that in there instead, I think. Ubuntu, whose vice of choice is a clear liquid from a steel flask, explains it to be as we dine on sweet cereal. Explains it to me? Being happy is tiring, You can force it, you can pay the tax. You can force it, but you pay the tax. He shakes his flask and laughs. Thank you, Outrider, for letting that slide. Thank you. Don't want to be falling afoul of your high standards. He shakes his flask and laughs. This is how you bribe the taxman. In his shirt pocket, Mouse sits like a fat baby in a high chair, sniffing the air without a care. Good rhyme repetition. Dope, coke, chair, care. It's got a nice rhythm to it. I see Logie and Arable standing over by the Mystic Caravan. They're running a volley between one another with a cigarette. Can't help but ask. They an item? It leaves me with no certain answer. They're Scottish, they gravitate. Without a word or a smile, Loser Lover Tony formulates out of the depressed ether and plumps down on a camper chair. He's a beer man, it appears. In the distance, someone shouts to turn the fucking music down. The fucking music gets turned down. My thoughts keep returning to Ubuntu's veiled warning from the morning. Everyone's a runner, but if you lie, nobody forgets. How did you come to the walls? I ask Ubuntu. After looking over his shoulder, he lowers his head and speaks in a low hush. I killed a man. Probably didn't say it like me, like, I killed a man. I have no idea how to reply. I look toward Tony for a flicker of emotion, but he is an unchiseled slate. Yeah, this is a... let's go back and read it. She taps her pocket with a coiny jingle. I know what you mean, and I know what the sentence means, but technically you're right, Outrider. She taps her pocket, and a coiny jingle cries out, for instance. That's what it means. What you could do is actually get rid of the whiff. Put a sentence fragment there. I don't love this. She taps her pocket, a coiny jingle. If you put a comma there, taps her pocket, comma, a coiny jingle. That's a 50-50 one in terms of how literal that is, with the problem that Outrider SG raised. I don't really have a solid fix for this. I think it's a good thing to mention though, because it's slightly unclear, even though I know exactly what it means. Kind of funny, isn't it? And it makes you sort of trip up a little bit. I don't mind it though. Why don't we put a pin in there and come back to it later? Or if Outrider, if you have a suggestion for, I mean, you put one here. If she taps her pocket and it rattles a corny jingle, which is more literal, but it loses some of its weird poetry. I don't know, isn't it strange? I don't want to lose what this has. Keep that on the same paragraph. I have no idea how to reply. I look toward Tony for a flicker of emotion, but he is an unchiseled slate. Before I can reply, I have no idea how to reply. Before I can reply, I think we need to change that. Oops. Maybe something like this, for instance. It's placeholder. As I fumble around for spare words, Emma just nods and nasally snicker full stop. I changed this because I don't want to repeat the reply twice. I think that's... Yep. Wait a second. Wait, did you suggest exactly the same thing as I wrote? Wow. That is... We are on a wavelength. A very scary wavelength. Get out of my head. Terrifying. Conspiracy confirmed. Lyrebird edits, rigs his chat box with shills and fake people and bots. It's just him with lots of keyboards typing in things. This is going on to subreddit drama. Or it's going to be all over Reddit. I'll lose my job tomorrow. I'll be ostracized socially forever. Notice I need to when he types. There's a slight delay too, keep in mind. Although actually, yes, keep your eyes on my hands, and when Outrider types, give it the weird one and the same. I deny this. Emoji spontaneously sneaky. You believed it. He believed it, Tony. Hope my reciprocal smile's more cordial than sheepish. Tony doesn't see the humour. Ubuntu takes a swig. I went to circus school to be a trapezist, broke my wrist, and came out a clown. I got no interesting story for you. You want a story? Ask Tony. I offer the question to Tony through a silent look, trying to speak his language. I was born and then I joined up. I forgot the rest. Tony returns to his beer. I get the feeling that the only taboo on these grounds is digging through someone else's dirt. Or somebody else's dirt, which is good. Which is what a criminal would think. Maxim the innocent, you have no pile of dirt. You're standing in the grave anyway. A tight lip will do good until this all blows over. I think that's okay with it, which is good, which is what a criminal would think. And yet, question number 2 keeps going. I think this is fun. I'm just keeping my finger on the pulse of the drive in this story. So where we're going, what kind of characters we're playing with, and how the narrative is unfolding. Trying to keep like a developmental sense going, just to make sure we're on the right track. So where's the elephant from? You're asking the African if he knows the elephant? Ubuntu gestures towards Tony. Ask this one. You look after the animals? Yeah, I do, answers Tony the brick. First, where's Hashmo from? He's an African bush elephant, so he's from Africa? Probably. Any idea which part? Probably the bush. So much for that. Tony returns to his beer as the question continues to smoulder away in my brain case. My mind needs snuffing. So I excuse myself to go put on my clown face and spend the night in another man's skin. Feels the big manuka. I joked with someone today that it's like the manuka mafia. They'll come and break your legs if they catch you making Manuka honey without their permission. They are pretty serious about the Manuka trademark. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Wilds. Mooney Mustard's the name. Do you want a balloon? Oh, how about a cat instead? But Mummy looked like she wanted a cat. No? How about a dog? Yes, you can have a poodle. Oh? Yes, that's a lovely name. What's yours? Muriel? Well, that's a perfect name for a little button like you. Is my name really Mooney Mustard? Of course. No, my nose doesn't honk. Oh, Grandpa's nose looks like that too? Well, I don't recommend honking his either. Yes, yes, have a lovely night, and enjoy the Wells Circus. Hello, well, of course. What would you... Oh, yes, a monkey? Why, I already think we have a little funky monkey right here in front of me. You're a ball of energy, aren't you? How about a cat? You don't like cats? Oh, your dad is allergic to them. Well, how about dogs? Oh, I'm sorry to hear about Jack. What kind of dog was he? Oh, she was a Jack Russell. Well, that makes sense. Why don't I make you a new dog friend? Yes, you can keep him. Here you are. Have a lovely night and enjoy the whole circus. Hello, hello, what would you like? Yes, what kind of balloon animal? A zebra? Well, I'm all out of stripy balloons. How would you like a dog instead? Of course you can have a sausage dog. Yes, yes, I've always been a clown. Yes, yes. You're full of questions, aren't you? Yes, okay, yes, yes. Oh my god. Ah, ta ta ta. Don't you know the rule? You have to hold your breath while I make the balloon into an animal or the magic won't work. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. Sebastian counts up my earnings for the week. Yes! This is really good. And, yep. So as that writer says, I think it works brilliantly. Is it R-U-S-S-E-W-O? Yeah, it is. It's 2 L's on the Russell. Like, some of the question marks can be exclamation marks, but whatever. I think on the whole this is so specifically stylized that I don't want to touch it. And it's perfect. Like it's such a really clever way of transitioning from this very quiet, reflective scene into a whole bunch of dialogue-driven narration. It's all an internal monologue, but god damn, it's good. It really, like, in my head I could picture it all without actually having any of it described, and that's the real beauty of this kind of narration. And I think it works especially well because it's infrequent, so this is the first time we're seeing it, but also Herringbone's done a really, really clever thing here to link the end of this scene into the start of this one, and to directly link the end of this one into the start of this one. It's just... it's like Manuka honey. It's like really pure honey with methyl glyoxal just sprinkled in, just really nice honey. Yeah, it's fantastic. This is really good writing. My compliments to you, Herringbone. Smooth and golden, like your face after a $5 shave from the Dollar Shave Club. Yeah, and like from the 3 people here who are reading it, I think it goes down a treat. Maybe you do Dollar Shave. One wonders if there is a service that can provide clean shaved and Manuka honey together at last. Like, instead of those moisturizing strips on the shavers, which are just like, I don't know, soap and detergent, what about we have Manuka honey on them instead? Like 2 strips of Manuka honey, one that pre-glistens the hairs with some soothing Manuka honey. Then you got the blade, cuts it off, nice and sharp, Dollar Shave Club. Then the back of it is just this ocean of Manuka honey that comes in and just takes out the irritation, takes off the edge. If only there was a product like that. But alas, we were born in the wrong era. The Dollar Crunchy Manuka Shave Club. In a loot box monthly. Highlight. 1, 2, 3. Sebastian counts up my earnings for the week. £3 per hour for work. £3 per hour of work. £3 per show. What a hack. Half of my pay is going straight to Logie for the sleeping bag, who, by the way, I'd neglected to take out a pair of knickers ruffled down at the bottom, and another five for Ubuntu for running to the grocer for me. Daily newspaper, pen, paper, toothbrush, and some hobnobs to add flavour to the world. So far, so good on the fugitive front. I made the front page, so it turns out. Adored critic allegedly murdered on stage by eccentric rival thespian. Killed on stage. I'm still giving the title Alleged Killer, but the narrative is practically written in stone. There's a theme in there somewhere, truth and innocence versus the media machine. An opening monologue bubbles away in the brain. Once they cross-examine the DNA or microscope the cells or whatever they have to do to clear me, I'll have to send some flowers to the editor for the free marketing. Great. Really good. Making my job hard, Herringbone. I have nothing to suggest. I could have been a sociologist or even an archaeologist. I suppose the only difference between themers? Oh, I know this word. It's theatre people. Is it? What does this word mean? It's a Greek god, or a Greek is something. I don't know what this word means. Oh, them is, right. Because I thought I'd seen this word before. Themis is like a... I thought you were making some really obscure but on point Greek goddess reference. Which could work. I mean, we could try and put that in. Them is choosing to study the dead or merely the dying. There you go. Isn't it weird? Unlike father, the idea of a vagabond son exploring the world was a bit too close to home for mother. Good at nothing of it. Maxim, you'll have a practical job that'll keep your feet planted on the ground. Your folly, mother. But allow me to indulge for a moment and present to you Maxim the sociologist's musings on the roving circus folk. A nomadic clan of fringe dwellers makes for a sort of tribal utopia. Yes, Baz sits on the throne, but rules with a rubber fist of the metaphorical kind. As long as you do your work, stay visibly sober for shows, and clean up after yourself, one is free to live as they wish. Some troopies spend their time moonlighting as craftsmen of hedonistic artifacts, artisan rollers with secret herbs and spices, pillows made of rice and scented with lavender. Even dream catchers. Be it known, though, if bad dreams be floating through the air, it probably means you're sleeping too close to the busted portaloo. Everyone is a chef here as they rotate through kitchen duty. Every night is soup. I wonder if we shouldn't cut the paragraph there into a new paragraph. It's quite a long paragraph. The idea links, sure, but this would be an enormous paragraph if we don't cut it here. And this is going to be a big paragraph too. Everyone is a chef here, as they rotate through kitchen duty. Every night is soup, but soup is a canvas, so every night is different. Most nights there's some form of minestrone, but when Ubuntu takes the reins, which he does most nights out of distaste for tomato-based broths, magic happens. He calls it pepper soup. I call it my last meal on death row, touch wood. Loki is as Loki does. He drinks fire fluid. He breathes fire. He drinks liquor, he tells a good joke. He drinks Gaviscon, he starts from the top. Strikingly, Satchmo the Elephant has his own ringer and understudy, who's done all but one show this week on account of the original being too worn down to move. I meant to find the right angle to approach Lose the Lover Tony on Satchmo's origins. Arabelle is the witch doctor of the lot. No, she doesn't smear herbal paste on people, but she heals the psyche. She's who you go to for a fag and a chat when life nibbles at your toes. She's who you cry with, who you reminisce about old lovers with, who you play cribbage with in the wee hours when your dream catcher slacks off. though I haven't yet ventured in there. Her wooden caravan is a house of mystery scented with sandalwood or jasmine, where patrons learn their futures, illuminate their fortunes, and commune with the dead. I pledged my last 2 quid to the quest of discovering what lays inside the caravan under the guise of wanting my fortune, but with hopes of finding a connection in the crystal ball. In time, to some dwells is where the outside world comes to look upon the oddities and weirdos of life, but the shrewd looks back and wonders what the whole fuss is about. It's a hodgepodge society here, but it's functional. How many others can save out of themselves? QED. Thus completes my report on the remarkable peoples of Dewall's travelling circus. Hey, pandas from Mars. For the nights for the evenings. How are you doing? Good to see you again. Every night is soup, but soup is a canvas, so every night is different. I'm gonna take Outrider's suggestion here and put evenings here. I think the repetition of night in this sentence is important to how it works, but I think in the next sentence it probably doesn't need to be night again. It's been 4 years since I saw a bird stream. What's that Pokemon meme? Like, it's been 7,000 years. I can't find it. Can't find it right now. But it's like one of the recent Pokemon games had at its story this man who fell in love with a woman. Woman dies. She gets reincarnated as a Pokemon, and there's like this huge stretch of time between their reincarnation. Yeah, I do. It's not full blown flu. It's like travel pneumonia. That's what I'm calling it. I picked it up on the plane on the way back. It started off as a bit of a sore throat, and now it's like upper chest, just coughing and a bit of hiccuping. I've managed to survive an hour, but I can feel it's kind of taking its toll. I'll go for I'll go for as long as I can. Ah, he big sneezes. Ugh. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I really hate the flu. Hope you get better soon. Oh, he's making a shoot of his overseas trip. Yeah, I'm just gonna weave it in there. It's like, well, when I was over in New Zealand with, you know, just seeing all the sights and doing all the fun things, yeah. If this is the price of going to New Zealand, then that's a pretty good price. Hello, Tullian. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream tonight. We're doing Ernest Herringbone's story, Maxim, which actually has quite a thick title. Personal misfortunes, misadventures, observations, and sexual experiences of Maxim Hendricks, the actor of Nunhead, which he never meant to have published on any account. It's part 4 of this novella Stitch story. And we just got up to this quite thick description here of the people who are in this travelling circus. Ooh, lots of people talking. I didn't see the Shire folk. No, that's in the North Island apparently. And I was in the South Island. At least I think it's the North Island. One time I went from a room to the other. so naturally I never left the country. Oh, you gotta buy a passport and get out there and see the world. Come to Australia. We have things. Many things to see. Genre. This particular sub-story, I suppose, would be contemporary drama. There's nothing supernatural in this one. Maybe a tiny little bit, but nothing that would classify it as magic realism or speculative. It's more in the sort of reincarnation sense. But the total story has different subgenres inside it. We have spiders and snakes. What else do we have? No, just that. Just that. We've got some uranium. Yeah, nice and Australian. It's just in the backyard. It's a whole country full of stuff. And Hugh Jackman too. Hmm. Yeah, the STD koalas. They're fun to look at, koalas. Fortunately, the gonorrhea that they have is a different strain to human gonorrhea, so you can't get gonorrhea from a koala. Pro tip. It's still a bit weird to think about, though. Poisonous duck beavers. Yeah, they're pretty cool. I like poisonous duck beavers. Let me pop back into the stream for a minute. Excuse me. This starts off as a bit of a telling in the scene, and it took me a little while to figure out where it was going. And drop bears, so true. Love drop bears. This starts off as quite a like a description of very small snippets, and then only when we get to the end do we really understand what Maxim is doing when he says, "I could have been a sociologist if you're an archaeologist." This part here is a bit of a dice roll. It's a very it's very much like a left turn. These two paragraphs turn the narrative on its head a bit and go, okay, so what we're going to do now is like get a broad canvas of the circus folk that Maxim finds himself around. So we have that here that builds up into a culmination. Thus completes my report of the remarkable peoples of the world's travelling circus, which feeds into here. And so I can't think of what to suggest because I don't want to break it. I think it's such an unusual and unique piece of writing that if I were to leave my mark on it, it wouldn't be what it is. I think there are parts of it that maybe could be a little stronger. If we cut this and make it a new of the start of a new paragraph, it might be good to think of to reinforce gently the notion that Maxim is making a sociological comment, because right now it's here at the end and present at the start, which is great. If we're going to split it into two paragraphs, which I definitely think you should, I think this may not function as two paragraphs, especially because the soup stuff kind of sags in the middle. If you cut it and then separate it, it might be a bit better. Oh, you Victorians with your lack of being in New South Wales. I like Victoria. I do. I like the Great Ocean Road. That's my favourite part of Victoria. And you guys have good coffee too. So yeah, there's good things in Victoria. I can't smear the good name of our friendly neighbours in the south. Hmm. Yes, it's off the page now, but Herringbone says, maybe doubling down on the sociologist stuff during the section to reinforce the academic report. Yeah, I think that would be fantastic here. So for instance, if you wanted to double down on the report style of writing, you could actually make it about the soup. That'd be interesting. Because you sort of do it already. You talk about the pepper soup But then it just kind of ends. If you make that pepper soup into a big sort of sociological comment, that might be really interesting. And I agree with Outrider when he says, I can't think of a way to insert things or alter its format without detracting from the concept, because the concept is so esoteric and unique that if you say, oh, change it here and there, then the whole thing falls apart. So yeah, I agree with Outrider, and that's why I don't want to touch it too much. With the note, however, that the middle section with the soup does sag, so you can make that like another peak within this notion that this is a report. Queen Victoria, no, Victoria the state, which I guess is named after Victoria. You you do have better coffee, that is true telling. Oh, hey, DC Not Important. Hello, welcome. Welcome to the stream. Stream when I like, and people can come and go when they like. Good, good, good. I think I'll leave you to that one, Herringbone. You can use that as like a springboard into a new idea. That's true. We are closer to the equator. Very true. And with it comes good weather. Yeah, you can keep your cold weather. Um, yeah, it is very cold in Victoria. Just give me a sec. I want to go and get a glass of water. So we'll take a 2-minute break, and you can sit there in Victoria, the two of you Victorians, and plot to steal my good weather. Oops, where am I? There I am. Good, good stuff. DC Importance is, which I think it looks like 1,200 words. I think you said that you wanted to get up to closer to 3,000 before you're happy with it. So send it through. Words. Send it through over DM when you're finished, and I'll take a look at it through Discord. Sometimes difficult to know exactly when a story will end. You have an idea for what it might be like, and then as you sort of creep through it, you'll find, I suppose, that if you keep extending it out and out and out and out, it tends to suffer from like a mission creep style of fatigue, where you just sort of come and go in different waves, and your reader will get a bit fatigued with that. So it's kind of good at the start of a story to at least have like a bit of a soft boundary of where you'd like to sort of start and end. In Victoria, we stay fully clothed when we stream. Well, Herringbone, we have in our superior state, which is more northern, we have a luxury of wearing. What am I wearing? Basically pajamas. Although I don't wear this to sleep. I wear other things to sleep. But yeah, I'm living the sweet life with my liberally clothed body. Just reading through chat again. That's surprising outright of it. There are no states that are rivals. Like, I thought, like... Surely, like... I'm trying to think of some states that would have rivalries. Like, North Dakota and South Dakota. Which Dakota is the best Dakota? And they'd, like, fight over it a lot. Surely there are things like that, right? A real man sleeps naked. Says DC, not important. Actually, 400 words a day isn't too bad. You'd be surprised at the number of writers who would struggle to even do that. The golden target that everyone likes to set for themselves is like 1,000 words a day. Some crazy people will do much more, but everyone's different. I think consistency is a goal as well. Oh yeah, that's right. And Talene says we don't talk about the West. There are other things in the West. What was Perth? He wears 100% Manuka honey to bed. Oh my goodness. Very sticky. Alright, says yeah, we have states that most agree suck. But none target as rivals. America's Tasmania. Ouch, poor Tasmania. There you go. It doesn't even speak the same language in North and South. I've never been to Tassie. One day I'll go. I hear it's like New Zealand. Alrighty. Put my glasses. I have 3 glasses here. Why do I have 3 glasses? Alright. Have I been to New Zealand? Well, funny you should mention that, Herringbone. I was there just last week, and now you've started me, and I can't stop. I cannot stop. I'm talking about New Zealand for the rest of the stream. Pandas from Mars, have you been to New Zealand, lad? What a question. Let me think. Well, that was that time 1 week ago I went to New Zealand. That was a nice New Zealand trip. Yeah, let me tell you more about my New Zealand trip actually. Well, first I went to New Zealand and I had a trip there. That was really nice. Yeah, it was good. Why don't we jump back into the stream? Okay, let's just like meta joke aside. I don't talk about New Zealand too much, do I? Over the past 2 streams, have I just been like slipping it in whenever there's like a dull moment? It's like, oh, stream's getting quiet. Hey, New Zealand. I don't know. Let's push forward. Let's push forward. You look a lot like an actor who killed that critic, Torn, says Baz as he stands over my pay. Now, I'd suggest coming right off the back of that really interesting 2-paragraph sociological piece, I think it's best to reground the scene immediately in place in place of a dialogue dump, or in place of dialogue. Just to help your reader come back down to earth with a gentle landing. So New Zealand's like new in one country, and Zealand is another country. New is the North Island, and Zealand is the South Island. That's how they're named. Hmm. I tried to get my nephew to describe what yeet means, and he gave me some very convoluted, fumbly kind of answer. And I nodded my head and then I went, okay. Okay. Knowledge stream. You come to rely on edits for facts. Quick facts. About New Zealand. I know you look a lot like you look a lot like that actor who killed that critic, Torn. As bad as he hands over my pay. I want that to be a bit more sort of coming into a new scene. Also, don't back end the dialogue tag. Also move that dialogue tag to the front. Yay! I know the newspaper folded over the table features a headshot of me from Son of Lamb, a retrospectively average play I wrote on a story weekend in Carlisle. Whilst nailed it. Whilst Great Aunt Maggie the Gambler cashed in her chips for the final time. Is New Zealand like Australia, only smaller? Yeah, more or less. They have better rugby players than us. I feel like I need a translator sometimes. I must have copy for sheep. Not untrue. What that story? Not sure what you mean, DC important. It's in the prepare. I wonder if there's not too much in this. I like this, but I wonder if it's not too much. Like, does there come a point at which the micro stories, the backstories, the fleshed out stories, the extraneous information, whether or not it actually becomes a bit too cluttered? When the edit won't open. Do you have a file that you're working on? I don't know what you're talking about, DC. Important, not important. I don't know. That's a really good suggestion, yeah. Notice I wasn't typing on the keyboard then. Outrider SG is not me. Okay, well I'll stick your 2 points together then. What we can do is in place of this, take out writer's suggestion and put in a description of the headshot. Yeah, I think that'd be really nice. It certainly adds a lot more. This does feel a bit heavy baggage, so to speak. Whoa. Wow. That is a big sci-fi book. My goodness, I hope that's more than one book compiled into one form. It's an enormous story. Are you editing this person's book? Are you editing this person's book? That'd be fun. Smolders is correct. Maxim the Prepared has rehearsed this response to this accusation. I've heard that from a couple of people now. Isn't it strange? Cool, relaxed, innocent. Suppose so. He taps the ashes off his fag as his interest in the matter smolders out. Good use of fag, cigarette, and smoldering as in the end. That's nice. It's still a bad sign though. If people recognize me. I finished with your paper this morning, Baz. Grumble as he records my pay in his ledger. Yes, now fuck off. Is there any reason why this is italicized? Should this be dialogui? Not sure why it's italicized. Words are fun. Fun words are fun. Until they begin to eat you. For the kinds of body that meanders thy realms. That's got a very sort of epic fantasy kind of lilt to it. Yeah, high English. I think it's about high time we had a resurgence in high English. Actually, no, that's a no. I don't want high English everywhere. It tells us because it's his implied meaning to return to his ledger. Ah, yep, cool. That's fine. I just didn't get it. New paragraph. Oh, brutal. I don't think I could do that to Lean. I think I'd stab my eyes out too. Word count. How much do we have to do? 1, 2, 3, 4. How much is left to go? I reckon we can polish this off tonight. 1, 2, 3 and a bit pages. Let's do it. Then we'll call it a night. My image has been downgraded to the inner pages, but at least it's now bigger than the accompanying headshot of Richard. He has his hand on his chin like some poncy author. According to the article, everyone has been interviewed. Horrid, who portrays himself as the dumbfounded agent, is practically milking the publicity. I couldn't imagine he would be capable of such a thing. But then I was thinking over the content of his plays, and it just makes sense. This is certainly not what Forward's drama agency is about. What a hack. Cordelia DeWitt apparently sought refuge in France after the police interviews to settle her mind. Even backstage, Brith has a mention. Bruth. That's right, it's Bruce, but with a lisp. Maybe italicize this to, or it's Bruce, isn't it? It's been a while since we've first encountered that name with the lisp, so maybe it's time to re-mention it. Rivnev. Generational incoherence. Oh dear. But it doesn't seem as if they care that the man with but it doesn't seem as if they care that the one man with a criminal record on the whole picture, who has quite clear connections to the underworld, who has a bloody tattoo on his face, was at the crime. Was at the scene of the crime. Are they daft, or has the mafioso paid off the excuse me, or has the mafioso paid off the detectives? Nailed it. First time. No stuttering. Good stuff. For Christ's sake. I can't be exiled to the circus forever like some bloody convict to the colony. Oh, the colony's turned out pretty good. Is it Christ's sake? Christ's sake. Christ's sakes. Yeah, it's Christ's sake. Christ's sakes. Yeah, it's fine. Sure. I mean, I think this is like a little sort of snippet that comes out of a narrative, pushes it forward, and we can drop back in at another point. Christ's sake looks better, but it's what about Christ's sakes, which is a slightly different expression. Seems to work better. Hmm. I'd rather suggest like a display of how he portrays himself. Uh, Hmm. I'll put that in as a little comment, and Herringbone may be able to figure out whether or not that's something that he'd like to do. For the flow of the paragraph, it's not super necessary, but I think it'd be nice to put into. A haircut was in order, which is a risky move when you're already light on top. Necessity is the mother of invention. Maxim the crew can't be born. Disgusting. I had Sylvia, the acrobat and hairdresser, who gave me the chop, to my list of IOUs. Need a comment there. The Sunday afternoon crowd is a riotous one. Probably travellers from the outskirts of London. Frenchmen meet Frenchmen. One sugar-filled snotter even tried to pickpocket me. Who steals my purse? Who steals my purse steals trash. Which I think is a quote, isn't it? Or he who steals my purse steals trash. Well, I only have a pocket of sad balloons. My mother smelled like a bucket of Bloody Marys. My father was escorted out for stealing the display Coca-Cola can at the hot food van. All throughout, I felt naked. What if I saw through the makeup under the wig, and what if I saw through the makeup under the wig and saw Maxim, the alleged tying their tyke's poodle balloon? I employ the good old take a breath and count to 10 and forget the idea. The world is full of a lot of what ifs, which are best ignored if you ask me. The run-in from this idea to this idea feels a little bit sort of marked. All throughout, I felt naked. I don't know if there's a strong enough connection between part A, descriptions of people, and part B, oh shit, they could recognize me. So I think maybe consider downplaying the former and playing up the latter and reconfiguring this paragraph so that it's more about the anxiety of potentially being found out. Play up the anxiety of potentially being found out. I think that's a strong way to approach this. Coca-Cola. Yep, no, that's fine. I'm trying to make Maxim feel less comfortable, but nobody knows. Yeah, I reckon the oomph may be missing from this paragraph because I think you tended to, for the first part of this, leant back on what you had before, which was your descriptions of people coming through and these little micro scenes. But I think this doesn't have the emotional impact of Maxim being anxious. I want more anxiety in this, and I think Maxim's anxiety will filter up into the narration style, which should make this read a bit differently. So I think cut this first part and rework it such that it's more anxiety-ridden. So to make it wig. Did I miss that? Under the wig? Ah, what if I saw through the makeup? Under the wig. Yes, comma. Yes, nice one. Well done. Good spotting, Outrider. Nevertheless, what if after the crowd disappears into the big top, I knocked on Abel's caravan door? I don't know what to do here to suggest... Oh, maybe that. It's a bit of an unusual, nevertheless, what if... Yeah, that's fine. Just get rid of the capitalization. What if I did ask her to take my fortune? What if... To one, it's all fake. What? It's superstition. It's what people want to hear. It's all an act. At least she has nothing to say about my haircut. You don't believe in readings? In some ways, I like that this is so quick to go from thought to dialogue without an action. It is a bit disorientating though, so maybe some readers wouldn't appreciate that. I like the gamble you took from going thought into dialogue, but I'm not sure it's hitting the mark. Have a read through it again. Simple fix, you just describe him going over, but I want this to work, I just don't know how it could work. No, Nishta. Full stop. Reality is crash-landed somewhere far from the coast of expectations. Metz's for answers. Arabelle smokes a menthol cigarette, which combines with the musky fumes of today's incense to create a spell. Now that she says it's all sham, her caravan does seem a bit trite. It's all shades of purple inside, iconography, peacock feathers adorning the wall, a velvet tablecloth and a stack of tarot cards. It's everything you'd expect from a fortune teller, and yet I persist. What if I believe it is true? You can believe whatever you like, but don't go thinking your life's written in the stars and all that. Because of some cards. But don't go thinking your life's written in the stars and all that because of some cards. And why do it? Sometimes people need to hear things for their own comfort, you know? It's actually all up in here, she points to her head. But we sometimes need a bit of a kick to keep up with our mind. This does that for them, and it pays good, but I don't moog. A friend's money's better spent on other things. It's by her Catholicism. Mother lived by the astrology predictions in the paper. She changed jobs a bit. She went to the doctors by it. Oh, sorry, she changed jobs by it. She went to the doctors by it. And when it said it was time to rest, she died by it. All considered, she did all things considered? Is that the expression? That is an expression, but all considered. Not sure. Doubt dusts it all for me, but riddle me this. If you shuffle a deck of cards, probability says it's the one time that particular combination of cards will occur. Data somehow organized itself into organic life. So who are we to say the world runs on 100% logic? I scratch a couple pounds together and hand them over. Then call me a customer, I want a tarot reading. She rolls her eyes and puffs out a single smoky laugh. You're a fucking idiot, Tawny. And you're too bloody cheap to turn down a couple quid. I reply in risky retort. Thankfully she finds the humour in it. Everyone smokes in the street, they do. It's the 90s. Everyone smoked in the 90s. Men, women, children, dogs. Former smokers, everyone smoked. I think you may need a bit more of a physical couching from this idea down into the caravan. I think because we're here now, and our entry into the scene was a bit too abrupt, so I think you need to maybe reconsider this style here. It was a really nice gamble. I'd love it to work. Have a think. Everyone. Do they smoke weed? They do. That was mentioned here. Dope and... Wine and dope, smoke and coke. Yes, they do. If anyone does, it's the medium, for sure. She rests her eyes for a moment and opens them as a new person. Do a 3-card question reading, okay? You've just entered a new phase in your life, coming here, and you might feel like you're needing some direction. How does that sound? Me? I'm spellbound. That sounds brilliant. Okay, she says and takes a long, slow breath. Breathe with me. Full stop. Capital B. And just like that, the room undergoes a shift. My nostrils are warm. I don't know what this word is. Let's learn a new word. Yeah. Come on. Get over here, Google. Get over here. There we go. This is a plant. Oh, it can act as an aphrodisiac. Cool. Nice. Arabelle's eyes skip like a stone over water. Rest your I can't roll my R's. Rest your hands on my table and feel me place the tower in your palms. Now, slowly shuffle them, stopping when you feel it is right. Good. Don't open your eyes yet. I'm going to take the cards back. When they leave your hands, take one more deep breath and hold it in. Every nerve in me is liquid. Now breathe out and open your eyes. Call me hopeless, but her gaze is a static, electric jolt to my stomach, which rolls in a chord. The first card is your past. It will show you what has come and gone, but still affects your journey today. It may be an impasse or unresolved energy. Are you ready? Yes. Hmm. Elaborate. Elaborate, please. Just for... I think the aim with this whole section here would be to get Maxim's emotion to be one for one with the reader's emotion. So to get the reader to feel Maxim's feelings. And in doing so, that would really lock in the engagement with this scene. That's an oil, huh? Hmm. Yeah, isn't it? It's a really neat way. Skip like stone over water. Yeah, it's really cool. And then if you wanted to, you could also expand out the scene of the shift. Feel free to pad this out to another opportunity for reader emotion. The more elaborate you make, well, not the more elaborate, but if you make this more of a empathetic kind of description, undergoes a shift is quite declarative. How is it undergoing a shift? You lose nothing from... That was a cat. Oh. Yeah, you lose nothing from taking out undergoes a shift, and you gain a lot more from elaborating. Cheers. Let's keep reading. I agree, like this feels like it's a really important scene. It's all coming together, so it needs to be emotionally underpinned correctly. She lays out a card depicting a haloed man strung up from a tree by his foot. The Hanged Man, it reads. Hardly reassuring. Your past is a card of the major arcana. The Hanged Man. You must notice concern on my face. Now don't be troubled. This is a symbol of life in stasis, not death. See, the man is content, and the crossed tree he hangs from is glowing with leaves. It is a symbol of being entrapped by death, but not consumed. If you can free yourself, you will be reborn. How appropriate. I see a smirking Van Oppenheimer staring at me from the card face. Richie Rich, the Spectre. Sod off. If only it were that easy. Which lets me contemplate the card for a moment before drawing the next card. Your present is the two cups of the minor arcana. A man in a frock and a woman in robes bounce cups under a winged lion's head. Excuse me, my hiccups. This is a symbol of unity under nature's guidance. Emblematically, the Arcadius of Hermes watches over, binding two in unity. This may be you, or people important to you. It's a sign that nature has sanctified a coming together, and that it is your energy which will spark it. Aside from the fellow being dressed up a bit like He-Man, I'm sold. Spark's stomach. I'm trying to see a suggestion in her eyes, but I'm being silly. Interesting, I say and leave it at that. Maxim, you devil. She places my future card down, a crowned figure on a throne, holding a sword. Another major arcana, justice. Now, you may interpret this in two ways. It may be that the outcome of your present reading will manifest in justice, or perhaps instead, a moment will occur where you will have to do what is just. a wrong to be righted, a tough decision to be made. Be in tune to your opportunities. She leaves the caravan in silence for a minute while my mind races. It may very well be all a sham. It may very well be all a sham for all I know. I'm gonna get rid of the all there. It may very well be a sham for all I know, but how often does one get to interrogate life with such acuity? The hanged man, the two cups of justice. The two cups, justice. If these symbols were not already on my path, then maybe they're here to direct my course. Breathe in, hold, and out. Feel the energies in the room settle down. Can you feel warmth in your stomach? Yes. That's all the steaming bullshit you just swallowed. She cackles like a cheese grater, but I love it. This is a very important scene, and there's lots here, lots of little minor areas where you can... Excuse me. Biggest tip for this scene, I think, would be to slow the pace down. Just a little more. I know I always say slow the pace down, but doing here will really help the reader to soak up the moment and enjoy the consequences of each card as much as Maxim does before moving on to the next one. Hmm. Yeah, that's a decent suggestion. Ugh, my hiccups are going crazy. I don't mind this because of Maxim's style of narration. I think it's okay. That's interesting, yeah. Herringbone says he had to do lots of research for this. This one here. Hmm. I don't mind this being a tell, this one here. However, a show could actually work quite well. Hmm. Hello, Pumpkin Pie Addict. Hello. You're catching me towards the very end of a story. We're almost done. I've been hiccuping, I've been coughing, I've been eating strawberries. We've had a very full and lively stream. Hmm. Yeah. You've been given the tick of approval, Herringbone. Very nice. It's good to be authentic when it comes to things like this. Posting to his detriment, nice. I started at 6 a.m. Yeah, time zones are crazy, aren't they? Thank you for joining me the last little while, though. He pisses a little soul off his polished first runs. That's fair. I appreciate the love, but 6 a.m. love is a very special type of love. So yeah, I understand that. Oh wow, 8 years. That's pretty cool, Tony. Nice. You're a veteran. That's really cool, guys. I'm gonna have to stop. Sorry, my hiccuping's starting to get a bit weird. It's just constant. Um, feel free feel free to keep chatting in Discord. Um, cool. Yeah, screw you, Herringbone. Screw you and your amazingly polished first drafts. Now I was thinking, I was thinking to myself during like that little 2 minute break I had a while back, just how much I um like not even just from like an editor's perspective, but from a reader, I'm really enjoying the uh, unusual styles of narration that you're employing here. It's such a um it's unlike anything I've ever worked through on stream before, but it's just also in a lot of ways unlike things I've read in other books too. It's really unique, and it's concise and it's fluid, and it's perfect for his style of voice. Like I don't think even Mitchell uses this level of massaged. I don't want to use the word bespoke, but it's kind of bespoke. It feels very tailored towards how Maxim operates, so it's fantastic. Screw you for being so talented. That's cool, Tomine. Most of it's gonna make you suffer. Oh dear. Well, DM it to me, and I will see firsthand the suffering, and then we'll go from there. Credit to my own Manuka honey tired. Clint all the shades. Okay, guys, I'm gonna wrap up. Thanks for tonight. I'll find another story for Sunday. I'll go on Reddit and ask a few people if they would like to have their stories edited. Unless Outrider has something for me. We'll see how we go. I don't know, so you are. My hiccups! Oh yeah, Tillian, join the Discord stream. I think, wait, you've already joined it, haven't you? The link is on my Twitch homepage, underneath the video you're watching. If you just go Lyrebird edits, it's just underneath there. Actually, I'll give you a link. Hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. Someone got a link for Talene? I do. There we go. Nice. Yeah, come and say hi. Ooh, you started the Monster Hunter story. Nice. I'll put you down as tentatively Outrider SG. I may try and get some new blood into the stream as well. Alright guys, have a good night. Catch you later. Hopefully I'll be back on Sunday with less hiccups and less coughing and more strawberries and more Manuka honey. Ugh. Bye bye.